Let me first ask about the electric cars that we see here. You've got three models behind you, whether concept or, ready for the road. How much bigger did this push towards electrification get post sort of the German diesel crisis?
It's been a situation where we've been growing it over the last few years. You know, it's 4 years almost to the day that we unveiled the i3 and the i8 here in Frankfurt. Over the intervening period, we've brought 9 electric models to the market. We're going to do 100,000 vehicles this year. The Mini, of course, is going to hit the streets in the not-too-distant future. And we have plug-in hybrids like this Concept X7, which I think tells you this is a long-term trend, something we see will be a move that's going to get stronger in the future.
Will you be able to ramp up sales of electric powertrains quickly enough to meet your CO2 emissions targets in 2021?
It's already ramping up, and it took us 3 years to get to 100,000, and now we're going to do 100,000 in 1 year. So that tells you the momentum is already there. And of course, as we continue the R&D investment, efficiency is also coming. So all of this scaling effect is part of our long-term strategy.
BMW margins are, at least right now, kind of the dream of the industry. You're at the top end of your 8 to 10% range, I think. Are you going to be able to keep it that high with electric cars coming into the mix?
You know, we've renewed our guidance at 8 to 10. We think that's possible. Of course, we will bring more models to market, which, of course, are at the top end. So we have a big push into what we call the GKL, the larger cars. So cars like this X7, you'll see an 8 Series that's on the stand as well. So the mix of products is going to shift, and that gives us more opportunity. And, of course, in the mix there, 8 to 10% is the clear steering guidance.
If I were to buy an X7 today, Ian, I would want a big, stonking diesel engine in it. Am I the last of a breed? Does anybody else want to buy diesels anymore?
You know, diesel is still a very important part of the combustion engine mix, and particularly here in Europe, but also in parts of Asia, we still see very strong demand. You will see diesels and EU6 and the very cleanest diesels still in our mix in the years to come, and I believe that we will pass this situation right now. People are beginning to understand that there are, of course, older diesels and there are new, very clean diesels. And therefore, the diesel fuel has still got a long way to go, in my view.
The reason the new diesels are so clean is because you have such sophisticated exhaust systems, expensive exhaust systems that you're able to put in a vehicle like an X7 or an X5. Can you keep diesels in the smaller, lower margin cars because you won't be able to hold as much NOx out of the emissions?
You know, I think what we've seen in recent years is in the smaller cars, of course, the turbo petrol engines have become much more efficient as well. So there's really a trade-off there. But in the bigger cars, the diesels are still very, very popular. You've got the range, you've got the EGR valves, as you say, you've got SCR technology, you've got particulate filters, and all of those things combine to give you a great, very flexible fuel. But you're right, maybe the smaller cars will move more to the gasoline engines.
What about the investment costs to, sort of switch over powertrains, the focus from diesel to electrics? How much is that going to cost you, and where are you going to find those cost savings?
You know, we've got a very flexible approach. So, you know, whether it was diesel or gasoline, we are balancing this up down similar production lines. In the same way, we have installed our own electric engine manufacturing. So, you know, we are the Bayerische Motorwerks. This was an important strategic decision. We wanted to build our own engine technology, and as such, that forms part of our overall powertrain strategy and gives us a lot more flexibility.
Speaking of being the Bayerische Motorenwerk, you haven't had the same sort of scandals, problems that the other German car makers have had. Could it be part of your strategy to kind of separate yourself from the pack, to sort of stand alone among the German automakers?
You know, I can't really comment for what the others have been doing, but, you know, very clearly, and I think from a BMW point of view, we can put hand on heart and say, you know, the culture of this business is a very robust one. We are very challenging to one another, but at the same time, we're very clear in what our objectives are and how we go about and how we deliver those objectives. So from the perspective of are we different, I would say this, yes, we are, and we will continue to drive our strategy within this company in exactly the same way as we've done in the past.
All right, Ian.